Ready?
Everybody ready? Here we go. It's we're starting late, not to our credit, 7:05. This is the July meeting. No.
No.
June meeting of the Virginia-Highland Board of Directors. I see that we do have all but Ms. Gilbert is here, and she'll be here in a moment. She would call. So we have a quorum. I mean, we have a motion to adopt the agenda as distributed.
Second.
Any comments from anyone? Without objection, it is adopted. We will recognize the APD officers if and when they get here, and I think in terms of public officials, we are short. Mr. Long won't be here, but we do have Ms. Dowling from a market ambassador from the Ponce Farmers Market. Madam, the floor and a cookie are yours.
Cool. My name is Ashley. I'm the market ambassador for the Ponce City Farmers Market on the Beltline. Have any of you guys been to the market yet?
Yay!
Oh, yay! Cool. So we open May 3rd. This is our inaugural season. We're open every Tuesday from 4 to 8, and we will be there until December 20th. So some of you guys who have been, you might have noticed we have about 26 to 28 vendors each week. 9 farmers, so that includes our peach farmers, whom we have 3 of this year. We have everything from pasture-raised beef and chicken, pork, poultry, eggs, honey, anything under the sun. We also have some local artisans that do jewelry and handcrafted goods. And if you guys have been, you've seen some of our chef demos. We've actually have a really great partnership with some of the chefs in town, so some folks, anybody from Joey Ward from Gun Show to Hector Santiago at Ponce City Market. They'll come and do chef demos. Those happen every week at 6 p.m. So our chef will walk you through the demonstration, and then y'all are welcome to have a sample. We also have a great partnership with the Atlanta Beltline. Anybody else that maybe if you own a business or anything from like fitness to other nonprofits, we're always looking for new partnerships. You guys are welcome to come to the market and have a community booth of sorts. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to be here. I brought some postcards. If you guys want to take some and distribute them through your network, we're just trying to spread the word about how awesome our market is. So thanks for allowing us to be here.
Thanks to you. Thank you for coming. And if you'll submit some material to us, we'll see if we can print
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Ashley, what kind of traffic are you getting?
So the first day, we had over 4,000 people come, which is incredible. Since then, we average about 2,000 people each week, which is pretty great for an inaugural season. Yeah, there are a lot of great vendors. Our vendors are pretty happy so far. But like I said, we're still trying to spread the word. The summer's difficult because there's so many different events going on, but it's a really beautiful location as well. Yes, ma'am.
Are they set vendors, or can other people come in, or do you just pick the first 28 that show up that day?
So our organization, Community Farmers Markets, we have a pretty rigorous application process. So everybody applies during the off season, which is up until February for us. Guidelines include just being for farmers, specifically naturally grown, as close to as organic as possible. So if you know somebody that's interested, right now all of our vendors for all of our markets are full. We have about a 200-person waiting list. If a vendor drops out of a market, we'll pull from our rotating list and then pull from our waiting list. But right now, yes, all of the vendors except for 3 booths each week, they're there each week. So the rotating vendors are folks that do like condiments and preserves, jams, and then some of the like local artisans that I was mentioning. We also accept SNAP and EBT, and we have a partnership with Wholesome Way of Georgia that allows us to double the dollars. So if you come in the information booth, we'll swipe your card for $10 and then give you $20 in tokens is how it works, which is pretty incredible. So if you guys know any folks or businesses, nonprofits that work sort of with those lower income communities, those are definitely some folks we're trying to target to improve their food access just across the board. Yep.
Can you explain how the free parking works?
Yes. So there is free parking for an hour.
Okay.
If you park pretty much anywhere inside of Ponce City Market. The code, if you just come to the information booth, we give you the code and then the zone and then the promo code. It's really easy, but that parking app is kind of difficult to use if anybody's used it. So we just say come to the info booth and we'll walk you through it. Super easy. Yeah.
So you have to download an app for stuff?
Yeah, if you guys are familiar with the Park Mobile app, a lot of places in town use that, but yeah, if you want to use the promo code, you would have to download the app.
Where are y'all located? Is it inside or outside?
It's on the in the shed, so right on the Beltline at Ponce City Market. Yeah, it's a really beautiful space. It's covered, very breezy. There are some fans, so it's not hot as all get out.
It's not required that they're certified organic, right, which is.
It's not required,
That's a good.
but
I'm fine with that.
the only reason why we don't require it is because we work with so many small farmers and that process is
A lot of
pretty
them is
rigorous
so
and very
arduous.
expensive.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks very much. All right, let's go into the planning committee.
Okay, we have one application, E16-132, 1158 Lanier Boulevard. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about the project?
Yeah, I'm just curious, who's voting for All right, so my name is George Andrews, and I live at, or I'm building a house, my wife and I are building a house at 1158 Lanier Boulevard, and we're considering putting in a swimming pool. So our lot is a corner lot, and as you may be aware, you have to get a special exception variance to put a swimming pool on a corner lot. One interesting note is that we're actually on the corner of Lanier Boulevard and Johnson Street. Johnson Street is not paved. It's actually city-owned right-of-way that currently is just grass and trees, and it's never actually been paved. And as far as I can get from the city, they have no actual plans to pave it. So though it technically is a corner lot, just from an understanding of the way it was laid out, it actually does not have a street that currently is being utilized that runs along the side of the property that we do not have on a corner lot. What else do you need to know at this point?
I think that, we were on the site, so basically they require, there are restrictions about putting them on a corner just because of people going by and seeing the activity and making sure it's secure. That's really the reason for coming here. If there's not being any closer to the property line than they should be or any of that.
Right. And then you had requested an updated drawing. I don't know if you got copies of those, or did you need
Well,
copies?
Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you could
Okay.
show us some, explain what the changes we made that are
Sure.
behest were.
How many do you want?
All the one and share one that we already know here.
So the city right away is, again, it's owned by the city, but it's not necessarily maintained. So part of the request from the board was to go in and do a little bit of maintenance. There's a lot of ivy growing on trees, which could be detrimental to the trees. So we're going to try to clean up some of that and make it so the trees are more likely to survive and not be impacted by that. And in addition to that, on our property, we're going to do some plantings just to provide some screening, so that again, if you were in the right of way, you wouldn't have direct view of the yard. There'd be some trees that create a little bit of a blockage, so you don't have a clear view of the swimming pool.
You had one other neighbor, 1146.
Yeah, so last time I came, I had all the signatures on it, but I had one neighbor who had not signed. Actually, he's present here this evening. This is him right here. His name is Reggie. And, so he's here, actually in person. And then also you had asked that they move some concrete, which they have not done yet. And I will make sure they do that. There was kind of just between me and the contractor, there was communication. I asked them to move the concrete off the roofs. Technically, it's actually sitting on the sidewalk. That there's a concrete pad underneath that, but I will still get them to move it this week. So by next meeting, I'll be certain that's been taken care of. That's not been taken care of.
And do you have a notification, you've had notification or a letter or something from, is it Reggie?
It is. Yes, we talked.
Okay.
So, sir, if you would, since you're sitting here, this ought to be easy, if you will go over and ask him to give you a note that you can provide to us.
Yeah, I'm gonna sign it.
That'd be great.
We
Yes.
Date it.
I was working.
That's fine. Appreciate your patience. That really eliminates any doubt at all. So, George, the
Yes.
last reference was to material that has nothing to do with the variance. It was just improperly placed under the tree thing. So if you would nudge him, he
I
really
will.
does not get to do that when it's convenient. It really ought to be done by like 8 tomorrow morning. It
Okay.
should have been done
I don't think nobody needs
by 8
to.
this morning. Well, there's an option, and the option is we'll call the tree guy, and if he comes out there, he'll stop work. And then he'll find time to do it.
I'll make sure.
So if you would, just get with the program, not, I'll get to that, that would help us there. So on this one, this is being treated like a developed street, and someone whose name I think I recorded at Summerfest came up to me and asked me, I guess they followed this, but they're part of a walkers group that wants to walk down this property, and they asked me if they had the right, which as best we can tell, they have a legal right to walk down this piece of city property that is there. So you may get neighbors in the future, we have no clue. If that is actually going to occur, we probably need to deal with the access from Rosewood to make sure that it doesn't erode, it's not a mess. But I appreciate y'all getting it in shape and going and doing the privacy so that it's not a surprise for anybody. And then there'll be a fence there in accordance with.
Well, there's an existing fence, which we're going to need.
Right. There will be a fence there in
Yes.
accordance with the statute that requires restricted access for that. And I think it would be nice to get all that stuff out of there, so thanks. And y'all also substituted, Peter made a couple of substitutions for less invasive choices there, and I appreciate that. And so that was a summary, I think. And once this gentleman signs, we'll, I see his pen moving rapidly. You're probably too legit now.
Did you want it?
Yeah, just let us see it, and then carry it with you the rest of the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because now we've seen it, and
Okay.
so we can modify that, but you don't want to get challenged
Right.
at any point, so have it with you. Yes, please.
Move to recommend approval of U16-132.
So,
Yes, with the plan, with this plan that we have in front of us, is this dated or stamped in any way, shape, or form? It doesn't matter,
It
but
hasn't been
Said
stamped by
right
the
there,
city.
10.
doesn't matter. Okay, this is the one dated,
16.
stated if you will. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Will use us. Thanks, George, I appreciate those concessions. Any questions for anyone for the applicant? We're ready to vote. All those in, please raise your hand in favor. All right, sir, so your next stop, you'll be with Debbie next week, a week from tonight. And take the phone number along if you get late, so you don't get locked out if it's inadvertently locked
Okay.
out. So we can come rescue you, we can get
The
it.
phone number for,
Take one of our phone number, my phone number or something, I'll generally do that.
gotcha.
So you can.
It's on our
you're not out there
Okay.
banging on the fence. I think that's it. All right, so let's go through what else we've got under planning. Briarcliff Terrace Apartments, we were notified by the owner that they plan to come back with another plan in July. And we haven't seen that plan, so we have nothing to report. They have withdrawn the previous one. And we'll be back to report on that next month, but I'm just letting everybody know that's the only update we have. Jess, Park Atlanta contract expiration.
Yeah, similar, nothing to report exactly. So plenty of discussion was given on why they might not want to consider renewing the Park Atlanta contract, but it's not in stone yet, whether or not it will be extended or renewed. So because of that uncertainty, we also wanted to help the North Highland and St. Charles from there up to about where Osteria is. That section of the sidewalk is in disrepair and other things that note in particular just needs some beautification. So one hindrance to that is that Park Atlanta has sort of a stronghold on those parking spots. And so if we were to be able to get a few of them out of the inventory, we could have an expanded sidewalk, we could do a parklet, we could do maybe a bike share at that location. There's a lot of different potential things that could happen, but you always, first, Park Atlanta is the problem. So if we look at that area and have more of a cohesive plan, just for that specific stretch for plantings and parking and how it might look, Barry from the planning committee is going to kind of take that on and work with Peter, what's his last name? Frawley, to work on more of a cohesive plan, so that kind of regardless of how the parking situation shakes out, we at least have a more cohesive idea of what to work with the city.
Comments or questions? Catherine, Fire Station 19.
Okay, so we are making slow but steady progress. We have a contract that we're refining with Server Barber, who will be the architect on the project, and then we're working with the city and their legal team and OEAM to get the donor agreement. So in some ways it's complicated. We're triangulating a little bit to try to get those things to match up. And unfortunately, it took the city a little while to get the document to us, and then it needed some refining and some connection. So we definitely have our legal team working on it. It is slow going, and vacations have slipped in and out and slowed us down a little bit, but it looks like we're in good shape. Tom Little from Server Barber has been terrific, and Bob and John have been really quite good. And so our hope, Bob's out of town, I think until tomorrow. So our hope is that we would have a document in the next day or so that we would send back to the city for review. So good news, Summerfest, we just as a sort of update, very nice that we got to do the booth. The VHCA booth was fun, and we raised $4,000 for the firemen. And I never was so tired and tired. The man who gave me the last time, I'm like, I need $100, just give me $100. And he gave me, I'm like, we'll take a picture. And we went home at 6 o'clock and had a glass of wine on your porch. So anyway, we're moving along, it's just slow. And we kind of knew that would be the drill. It'll take us longer to negotiate the contracts than it will actually do the work. I would say by triple. So, who will?
Sadly, it appears to be the case.
I know, but everyone I think is working with good faith, so it's your crowd is.
Any questions or comments? David, Parks, on to Parks.
Yeah, so, not a lot tonight, but really quickly, hopefully everyone's had a chance to go by and see the Atlanta Celebrates Photography
That's right.
exhibit at the park, so, in Holland Park. I think John Becker might be the only one in the room that has photos on exhibit, but it's a nice.
Only 7.
I know.
It's a nice, I'm biased, but I think it's a nice addition to the park, and it kind of gives it some color. And I've seen a lot of people come by and actually that were walking on foot and comment positively on it, so hopefully that's well received. It's up to us as to how long we leave that up. The property's ours now, so.
Maybe until it starts fading?
Yeah, I don't think we want to get in disrepair. So we can think about that and make a decision on when we want to.
Doing another round after that.
It's up to us. I wanted to see how this one went, and if it is well received, and if it makes sense, then we can definitely, the offer is open to move forward with additional ones when we desire to. Any questions? You know, the only comments I received, some people as to why it wasn't down closer to Summerfest. So that's it's noted. The actual reason is I think permitting would be required, and we actually own the property at North Highland Park, so it's just easier to install it there. And I think that node actually can benefit from a little more color to your point. So.
Yeah, the only question I have is disposition of the banner when everything is done. Is it my understanding from David, you're going to, the association will be able to archive it and hold on to it, not destroy it or whatever?
Yeah, not destroy it, but keep it, and it can
Okay.
be pulled out for other events or things like that, if that's
Good.
suitable to everyone, or if somebody has a better idea, but the archives at the church would be a good place to keep them safe for next use, just roll them, yeah.
Yeah, so the only caveat there to understand is that the artists actually own, we only got rights to present it at that one, during this one exhibit.
Yep.
So if we do want to put it up, we actually own the property, not the photos themselves, but if we want to actually do something with them again, we just need to obtain rights again. But archives is definitely a good idea.
Okay.
So that's that. As far as John Howell Park goes, we are progressing with construction diagrams and moving forward with planning. I don't think we'll actually progress into any form of implementation yet. Number one, because planting and some of the construction is somewhat, some of the fences and other things in the plan are somewhat costly, and I think we just want to hold off and see what other events come up, how we do with Summerfest, and how things progress from a budgetary standpoint before we actually move forward. And we do have a total of 18 months to actually implement the work that we're proposing that the grant allows us to do. So I don't know, Jack, if you have anything to add to that, but I think moving forward, design plans and then being cautionary about expenditures is the plan right now.
Just remember, we'll be in the park December 34th, or have our headquarters there again this year with tour.
Okay. Was there a question? I mean, I missed.
No, just
Okay.
saying.
Jack, anything to add to that?
No, I think that's right. We want to go slow on the costly stuff. We have, actually already have begun
Right.
the less costly but more tedious and time-consuming pieces of soil, improving the soil on the back of the park, removing rogue memorials, installations, and odd plants that Peter, the landscape architect, had never seen. And so some of that tedious stuff is underway, and but you wouldn't much notice it unless you're already doing it. But we'll just have to take it in a measured fashion. We knew we'd probably be working into the next budget year, and so that looks like that's a very good chance of that happening as we're careful with expenditures. But good.
Are we ready to share with the neighborhood what the plans are? Or
Well, we did share with them before, during walkthroughs, when they were, and discuss what they are. But when Peter finishes the...
how long ago would that have been?
6 months, 8
Okay.
months, when...
Okay, it's off my watch, sorry, I missed that
No,
one.
it's all right, it's all right. You might have been ready to leave the neighborhood, but they were up, and they haven't changed much at all.
Okay.
But we'll put up Peter's finished version when it's ready to go down for final approval from Parks. And we don't anticipate any surprises or real changes. It's coming along and surviving the heat so far.
Yeah, we could definitely publish another voice article and get it out there to the public when, I think it'll probably be late summer by the time that we actually get everything through Parks Design again.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll let you know and get it in the voice. And I think that's it.
Excellent. Fundraising, I know the final numbers aren't in, and that's fine, but if you have any tales, Paige, you want to tell
I
them?
have not heard any preliminary numbers yet.
No, that's fine, and we don't need to even talk about them unless we're worried about that, but I mean, any stories or general impressions or opinions of for-profit other people that you should...
We got, as everybody who attended, who was in town knows, we got really lucky on Sunday. It looked, the weather forecast looked horrible all day long. Like thunderstorms, scary all day long. We got some drizzle in the morning before it even opened, and that was it. So our turnout was better than expected, but still it was lower than it has been in the past, just because the threat of rain kept some people away. For the most part, we didn't have any big glitches. The new little local market that was down Barnett was a big hit. That Smack Your Mama barbecue, whole line of sauces was packed the whole weekend, as well as some of the other venues. People really seemed to enjoy it. The vendors seemed very pleased about taking part, so hopefully we can do that again next year. I don't think of anything. VIP tent is just not, it wasn't very busy. We tried to do it a few years, we tried to do it last year. It wasn't, like, people just are not. Yeah, and a lot of the thing is, like, some of the big sponsors ask for it for their clients, so we provide it, but then nobody really shows. So I don't know if we'll do it again next year, since we've done it a few years and it just hasn't been that crowded, that big of a draw this year. Last year it was special, it was just for certain individuals. This year anybody could get in if they paid for admission.
But
What
just-
makes it a VIP tent?
I beg your pardon?
What makes it a VIP tent?
It was a margarita tasting tent.
Yeah.
So,
We didn't, it wasn't really a VIP tent this year, as
Yeah,
much as
it
it
wasn't-
was a
yeah,
place
it
you could
wasn't
go,
really
you could spend
VIP.
$20 and get 3 tastings, and you could get a full-size one of whichever one you liked best. So anybody could get
So, yeah,
in.
this year it wasn't really VIP. It was just like
It was
set.
shaded, you could go in and get out of the heat.
Yeah.
It's right near where the band
And
stage
had
was.
tables, you know, with umbrellas, so it was just kind of a little, and it was in the back of the park, away from the stage, so you could kind of get away from the crowded area, so it wasn't really VIP, it was just kind of a special access little thing, so. But anyway, I'm not sure if we'll do that again next year, just because it's not proven to be a big draw for our grounds. I did hear actually third hand, that a lot of people on Saturday left the Cameron Park Festival to come to Summerfest. So that was a nice little, even though our festivals were very different, it's always nice to steal a little thunder.
Do we usually do that?
No, this was the first year. And theirs was a music event,
Yeah.
and theirs was a paid event.
Yeah.
So, and theirs went more through the evening, so. People could actually, different audience, but people could actually do both.
Yeah.
Come to ours during the day and then go back up there at night.
How about for the 5K? I handed out water as my family did, and it seemed like we actually had pretty good.
We had a decent turnout, was it?
It's over 1,000, like
Yeah, it was
1,050
almost-
pre-registered. I don't know how many signed up on site.
Or what's normal? I don't know.
I
We-
believe between 12 and 14.
We try to shoot for 12 and 1,400, but I don't think we get there
I think we
consistently.
I sold walk-ups Saturday morning, and then they said they had 50 walk-ups Friday afternoon, and I think we sold 85, 90 walk-ups Saturday morning.
If that's true, you might have hit
I mean, we were
1,200.
pretty steady.
I think you did, because when I went to look at my time, it looked like there were maybe even almost 1,300, but like, some of them didn't come.
Right, yeah.
So
I think
that's fine.
that Ed said it was almost 1,100, which was actually much better. It was slow, registration really took a long time to pick up, and then like the last week,
Yeah.
we went from like 800 to almost 1,000. We had a big jump, and then the day of, we were really 1,100. So it turned out better than we were expecting, so that was great.
We served close to 800 plates at the community dinner on Friday night. Again, a little softer than normal, but people were saying that Inman was on break early or late this year, and so people maybe were on vacation that weekend. And so, I mean, I didn't get the sense, I don't think anybody else did, if you were there, that it was a small crowd. I mean,
Yeah,
the
it wasn't.
place was crowded, and the lines were long, and the food was
It
good.
seemed to
And
move smoothly this year.
Yeah.
It seemed to move a little quicker this year for some reason. I can't figure out why, but
Yeah.
good all around. So very lucky. We didn't have any emergency, like health emergencies, no fainters or injuries, or we just had a few boo-boos here and there, mostly adults, which was kind of funny, coming up with the straight knees, and but that was about it. So we got really, really lucky this year. It went off pretty smoothly.
On the, are you collecting the Summerfest 5K registration sign, yard sign?
You can put it
Yeah, I
on
think
there.
I got
Oh.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch. John took some back. And
yeah, we got all the
I
banners
want to thank
yesterday, but I
y'all
don't
for
know where all
taking
the
the
yard
banners
signs are.
down, because that's not child's play. And I
I think
appreciate
it's
David
fine.
and John did that.
Is it still in your yard?
So there's
No,
yard
it's
signs like
taken down,
in people's
but-
individual
Yeah,
yards.
still got it? Yeah, what's your yard?
949 roughly. I think there's 2 on
Yeah, there are. They're right.
Yeah, because we can
Because
use
I put
those
those out.
Right. So we'll try to shoot for a better financial report for next month. But thank you, Paige.
Great work, Paige.
Can I ask about the date? I know the overlap this year too with the Food and Wine Festival, and I don't think we have in the past. Do you know anything if that's gonna stay the same next year?
For them?
Yeah.
They actually were the same weekend last year, they just weren't at Piedmont Park.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, also it's close.
I mean, we really don't have many options. We need Inman. Inman's got to be gone. We can't do it any point earlier. We need setup. We couldn't do it Memorial if we had to because of the prep and setup. So we're in the same spot we've always been. But the festival biz has grown all around us. Everybody has done one. And it's the way it is, so that we're just gonna have to think it through and do the very best we can. I do think that for some reason on the road, maybe it was the registration signs, so that was a good outcome.
Oh, and music, I got a lot of good feedback
Yeah.
on the
I thought the
music.
bands were really good
That's
this year,
always,
top to
you know,
bottom.
You never quite know, because, different strokes for different folks. Ann Guy has a friend who is very into the music scene, and so she was instrumental in helping to put together the lineup, and we got a lot of positive feedback about it. And there was a really interesting crowd. It was not just a bunch of young folk. It was a nice mix of ages up in there, so that was nice.
And I read all the artist reviews, and they were very positive, as they normally are, but they wouldn't have any different.
It was a really good
Yeah.
artist
Yeah.
too, this year seemed really rich.
So, yeah,
We didn't have as much, because it didn't go all the way down the end of the street this year.
it did not go down to the end of the street.
Last comments or questions? Great job. Thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks,
Joel. Came to, and sister too.
Andy and sister,
And sister. So it's 2 for 1.
and Jennifer Keenan. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Kids Fest, yeah.
Let's go, Ken, we'll get to you in a second. Are you in a hurry? or-
No, not at all.
Do you want to give a brief update? I will get to you in a minute if you do.
Yeah, always, go ahead.
Okay. Update on the camera project, Peggy and Emily.
What's your tour?
Oh,
You're getting old,
it's
man.
funny, I wrote notes all around it, please. And Robin and I talked about this today. Robin, go ahead, please, sorry.
So now that Summerfest, summertime is really when we get most of our planning work done. So we've kicked off our restaurant search, and we are happy, we already have our first one, Cook's Warehouse, signed up today. And we've kicked off our sponsorship campaign. Last year we raised about 40,000 sponsorships. We've got about 27,000 pledged so far. So we have a good start on there. We do our photos of the homes that we have selected, July and August, and then we are rock and rolling. Maybe soon. I know it sounds a long time away.
How many homes this year?
We have 8.
Wow.
That was terrific last year.
It's gonna have, we have 5 bungalows this year.
Awesome.
Those people that don't like to go to any other type of home, they can have an entire tour of bungalows.
Well, in fact, people like to go to both, as we know, and people vociferously tell us that. But, so it's kind of, the mix is excellent. Questions, comments? Becky and Emily.
So cameras, we are moving along. I had hoped to come here and have a vote today, but honestly, we're not ready, and in fact, this Summerfest takes a huge amount of time from everybody. So thank you all, and hopefully we'll be here for a vote next month. Where we stand right now, we've met again, Jack met again with Jessica from Police Foundation. We've gotten the information that we had requested in from the Police Foundation. It came in today. I'll put together a package of information and send it out to the board so y'all can have everything you need. Jack and Jennifer are planning to put together an article for the Voice so the public has a chance to read about what we're doing with this and why, and hopefully we'll have all those pieces in place for a vote next meeting.
Yeah, I'll add that Emily was there, Lola was there, 2 reps from Morningside were there, as was Ponce-Highland, because particularly their first 3 cameras on our list are on Ponce City, but so be it. But we've been given this opportunity, thanks to Alex, and Kwanzaa has not been able to pull this off in his, so it's us. So it's good, it's fine, and we took a lot of notes, and I thought the meeting was really productive.
It was really helpful. Jessica, he was really informative and a lot of good
A
information.
lot of good updates, and so we can all work on this update together. I think it'll be great, and I look forward to the article, and I think it'll be a good article, and we'll try to get all that in everybody's hands early for reaction and thoughts early, so if you want to have anything to say, we can have some dialogue, and then we can discuss it next week.
Hey Peggy, I had printed out the 3 things that Jessica sent today.
I don't need them, so I'll just put them up here. You can include them in your electronic presentation up here. The handouts that we got today for your police foundation.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Ken, what have you got?
Not a lot of import, but I just wanted to say a quick hello again on behalf of the Piedmont Park Conservancy. Once again, thanks for having me back, Mr. Chair. Thanks also for coming to the comments that Mark Banta had.
Yeah, I was glad.
Didn't get a chance to say hello to you there, but hopefully that's been part of some.
I enjoyed it a lot, more than I got to say because I had to go. But
Yeah, it's good. Glad you could
You
do
have
that.
no idea how much that resonates around other areas.
Glad to have you, and we'll continue to try to do that. One other quick thing, I owe everybody an apology because I was here a couple of meetings ago and I got asked a couple of questions that I went back and looked at my notes and I didn't send back a very explicit response to those questions, and I don't want to get into that sort of pattern. But one was about what was going on in the meadow in terms of it being torn up. Again, a city project, I think I articulated that at the time we were together. Thankfully, we can all look at it now and say we've got it behind us, but that was something that was disturbing to see that much upheaval around that. But it seems to have, from everything I gather from the landscape experts, have preserved the turf in a way that will be okay going forward. Of course, there's more tests to come as the meadow gets used during this time of year and going forward. The second question was about the use of the pool for other activities other than just what it's currently being used for families and all that. I did ask about that with staff, and apparently, and it seems obvious now that I think about it, is the depth of that does not entail other adult type, competitive or other type swimming activities. So the
I did
pool's,
for swim team.
exactly. So the pool's depth, that's the answer I got, is it's just not a practical thing for them to execute. And that's in that configuration that the pool is built in. So, I'm sure they'd love to do more programming, but I do want to offer one bit of pool programming that is ongoing, and that is they have a sweat and splash class that's going on during the month that includes strength building and core sculpting in the pool. So there is some other programming for adults or for others, other than just the young children use. They've also been doing some late night swim stuff too. You could keep an eye out for that on the site. Other than that, I'm just here to listen. If there's any things that you've thought about when it comes to the park that I can pursue and answer on, I'll be glad to try. I always want to keep the channels open.
Let's say, if you can hang around, I have a question or two that's probably more.
Happy to do so.
I'd love to hear exactly more.
Sure, sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
Any new business to come before us? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and declare at 7:43 the meeting adjourned. I'll ask the board to hang around for